Hi everyone, today we're going to be changing the oil on a Honda HS622 Snowblower. This is a really simple job that you can do too. So what tools do we need for this? First, we've got some engine oil. I'm using Castrol Edge 5W30. We've got some paper towel. It's always good to have this on hand in case there's any messes that need to be cleaned up. And finally, some gloves. Getting oil on your hands is never fun, so this just keeps you oil free. In terms of tools, you'll need the owner's manual. That will help us figure out how much oil we need and what type of oil we need. If you don't have the paper copy, you can probably find yours online. A ratchet with a 10mm socket, and something to drain the oil into. Before you change the oil, it's a good idea to start the engine and let it warm up a little bit. This will help the oil flow out much more easily. So as you can see, I've actually gone with something different for the oil drain pan just because mine was too big and it didn't fit underneath. So on my snowblower, the drain plug is right here. So we're going to start loosening the bolt here with a ratchet. I'm just using the 10mm socket as I said before, and it should be pretty easy to get off. It's a little bit of an awkward space, but there is enough space for you to get a ratchet down in there with your hands. And I just finish it off loosening it with my hand. The oil is draining out nicely now. And look at that, not a drop spill. And we're going to loosen the fill plug on top because that'll help air get in and it'll help the oil drain out more easily. Okay, so after removing this, if we look down below the snowblower again, we can see that the oil has pretty much stopped draining out. And up near the drain bolt, it's the same thing. The oil has stopped flowing out. So we can actually now go ahead and reinstall the drain bolt. You're going to want to start this off with your hands before eventually moving to the ratchet. But you don't want to go too tight. You want to make sure that it's just snug, and really if you go too tight you can cause some serious damage. And finally, we want to clean up any of the oil that's spilled on the side of the snowblower. So one tool I forgot to mention is a funnel. It's going to be very important. And here's the engine oil. If you can see, I've got just over or about 600 milliliters, which is the exact amount my snowblower needs. And we're going to begin to pour that in nice and slowly. It will come out the top of the funnel, so you do want to go nice and slow. And I like to stop after I've got about 75 to 80% of it out, just to check to make sure that we haven't gone too much. Okay, so we're going to pull the funnel out now, and we're going to check the oil level. Clean off the little dipstick before you put it back in. Screw it in. Screw it back out, and we can see that while it is showing at the end of the dipstick, you can't really see, but it's only very barely on there, so we definitely need some more oil, and I only have a little bit left, so I'm just going to pour the rest of it in. And there it is, all in there. Keep the bottle because it's good to put the old oil in. We're going to check it one more time. And again, I'm sorry you can't see it, but it is perfect. Okay, so we're going to tighten it back up again. So after I've completed the oil change, I do like to start it and run it just to make sure there's nothing obviously wrong. So one of the most important parts about doing an oil change is make sure you're disposing of the oil properly. I like to take the old oil bottle, a funnel, and pour the old oil right into the same bottle and put the lid on nice and tight. Luckily, I'm able to dispose of this oil at my local landfill, and which makes sure that it's disposed of in the correct way. So I suggest you look up what to do in your area where you live to make sure it doesn't cause any damage to the environment. And that's how you change the oil on a Honda HS622 Snowblower. I really hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and join me on future adventures.